Good morning, everyone. I wanted to wake you up today, guys, with the review to Felwinter's Life. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Because like many things in this past season, it has been somewhat half-baked, right? Like that's kind of what this season is. Some people are calling Season of the Worthy, Season of the Unworking, because it's just been so many things that have been bugged. Now, before we get into the opinions on the matter, first up, the Seraph Tower events and its 9 million completions were done this past weekend. Now, I think Bungie didn't think we were going to do it. What's even funnier is I feel like the Bungie community debated Bungie. No one did Seraph Tower events, like hardly any, on Wednesday and Thursday. And from their metrics, I can guarantee someone was like, hey, listen, it's going to take them 2-3 weeks, even after these adjustments that we're going to be making. They make the adjustments to make it a 10 times multiplier on the weekend. And suddenly, every PvE player out there just started grinding, dude. Friday, they finished the EDZ. Saturday, they pretty much finished off the moon. And Sunday, they finished off Io, which led us into the second step of this quest. Upon returning to Anna Bray, you will be asked to discover Rasputin's secrets. Now, this is actually a mission on the EDZ, essentially teleporting us here to Vostok. Kind of a cool mission. You wander around, right? Just checking the place out, investigating some things, deploying your ghosts. But you'll notice some of the key things that Anna Bray mentions while deploying your ghosts and scanning different areas. One key thing is, of course, Siva. Yes, she talks about Siva, and there's a lot of lore surrounding it. And fellas, normally don't cover lore, but I know my lore here. I've got some major spoilers, but I'm not going to say them in this one. Just know that the story between Siva, Felwinter, and Rasputin is absolutely amazing. Now, upon investigating these areas and completing it, we are then asked to get shotgun kills. Now, it can be shotgun kills anywhere with any shotgun. Inside of PvP, I want to say it's a 1-to-1 ratio. 1 kill is 1% completion on this step. Needless to say, you'll need to get 100 kills inside of PvP. Honestly, though, the fastest way to do this, even though it's like a 1-to-5 ratio inside of PvE, is just go to the Whisper mission, drop down there with the Shadow Thrall, and just let them spawn up. Make sure you got some shotgun ammo finders on, right? With some scavenger perks. And I was just sitting there swapping between my 7 Seraph shotgun and my tractor cannon. By the way, we have got to review this close quarter combat 7 Seraph shotgun. I love this thing, man. It's one of the best feeling shotguns in the game, and I can't believe we haven't reviewed it. Anyways, this quest step will go much faster if you just load up in that mission, because I originally tried to do it in PvP. And even though 100 kills inside of PvP doesn't sound too bad, everybody and their mama is rocking a shotgun. I would go into a group of people and everyone would just start dying. Death everywhere. Because no one is using a primary. Everyone's just running straight at each other, and within that 8-meter range, just start blasting. Now, granted, depending on how long this next quest step will be bugged, you could probably go into PvP or PvE and do whatever you want. Take as much time as you need, man, because this next quest step requires us to return to the moon, see Rasputin, and then you'll notice that there's a quest icon for us to begin a mission to discover Rasputin's hidden secret. Now, we go to click it, it pretends to launch us into something, and then we suddenly teleport next to Eris Morn. Turns out this portion of the quest is bugged. We're not supposed to be next to Eris Morn. Matter of fact, like the quest step indicates, we were supposed to, I guess, begin an actual quest step in a specific mission. As of now, and by the way, this is at like 10:30 Central Time in the morning, no fix has really been announced for this quest yet. There is a hot fix going into place tomorrow, which is hotfix 2.8.1.2, but it does not actually specify whether or not Felwinter is a part of that. Now, the reason why this started such a shit show, and rightfully so, guys, is because people who did not want to do Seraph Tower events manned up this past weekend, went into those public events, and did all 9 million of those bastards. Sure, they had a 10 times multiplier, but let's be real. It's still one too many Seraph Tower events, okay? Especially this far into the season. It's not the most engaging of content, but they toughed it out. They did the grind. I saw many folks actually on 24-hour streams. They had already been up for over 24 hours doing Seraph Tower events, man. And the moment we saw Io be completed, all of us, man, were racing, dude. My wife had this whole evening prepared for us. We never get time away from my son, all right? I love my kid, but you know what I mean, fellas. Sometimes you gotta have some time away from the kids. And last night, we had some time away from the kids. And my wife was quite excited about it. And so was I. But Bungie, just know that I looked my wife dead in the eye and told her Felwinter was more important right now. I knew I was probably gonna have to sleep on the couch, but that's all right, because I was gonna have a sniper shotgun. Listen, fellas, if there's one thing, one common denominator that Bungie and Destiny has had this season, it has been bugs on top of bugs on top of bugs. So many bugs that I think many of us are wondering if anyone at Bungie is actually playtesting this. Look, I'm not knocking anyone that is designing these weapons, that are conceiving it, but think about how many of the exotics this past season were locked out, some for just a few days, others for entire weeks. Raju's harness, that was locked out for what, a week, 2 weeks? Felwinter's helmet, also locked out for a few weeks. Telesto is constantly breaking the game. Worm God Caress, Winter's Guile. Now we got quests that we can't complete, quests that are community-driven quests that required a 9 million Seraph Tower completion as a gate. You couldn't even begin the actual part of that quest until you completed the Seraph Tower events. The reality is this, guys. Someone at Bungie is not playtesting, whether it's due to Corona, that could be it. Whether it's just mismanagement, that could also be it. I have no idea. I'm not on the inner workings of Bungie. No clue. But it's a common denominator this season, and people are rightfully fed up with it. Now, if we had to sit down and actually rank the worst DLC or seasonal expansions ever in the history of Destiny, a lot of people would say Curse of Osiris was a terrible one. Season of the Gambit, also known as Season of the Drifter, was a terrible one. Some people even mentioned Dark Below was a terrible one. I actually like Dark Below. But I would say the number one most let down season ever has probably been this past season, Season of the Worthy. Say what you want to say about Season of the Gambit. Season of the Gambit only sucked if you weren't a fan of Gambit. That was the problem. Bungie went all in on that mode, and the design behind that mode was actually really good. I like Gambit Prime over Gambit. It had a crap ton of really good loot, fellas. You got spare rations from it, Soul Survivor, Night Watch, Last Man Standing, and for my rapid fire pulse rifle fans, you even had Outlast. On top of that, the armor sets for Gambit were super unique and definitely added to the playlist. The problem with Gambit was that everything was tied to just Gambit. So I can't knock on Bungie for what they did with that season, okay? They tried to go all in with Gambit and it did not work out for them. But the innovation was there. The work was there. It just wasn't an activity that everyone was hell-bent on playing. Curse of Osiris. A lot of people associate Curse as being the worst time in Destiny. I really believe Curse would have been received better had we just had a different sandbox. You gotta understand, guys, at the time, we had the Bungie event right before Curse. I showed up expecting to see shotguns back in the secondary slot as special weapons. Remember, at the time, all special weapons were power weapons in the power slot. People wanted that fix ASAP. They wanted it fixed with Curse of Osiris. Unfortunately, that was a fix that would not happen until Forsaken. So whether or not Curse of Osiris was a good DLC, and I did enjoy Curse for what it was received poorly because of the state of Destiny 2. At no fault of its own, the game was just in a poor state, and that little old DLC had no hope of fixing all the things that people wanted fixed with Destiny. This season, Season of the Worthy, will most likely go down as the worst season to ever occur inside of Destiny. The most engaging PvE content we could give to our PvE players this past season were glorified public events. The pinnacle PvP activity trials returned to us, and with it, every problem under the sun. So much so that I personally just wish trials wouldn't have come back, you know? I like the trials game mode, but playing cheaters every other game or playing just stacked account recoveries every other game is not fun. Not only that, the player base, active player base inside of trials has barely broke 100,000 at 132,000 players, 896. Now, this number may increase a little more. It may get up to 140 by tonight, but there's a good chance tomorrow morning we won't even see 150,000 players here. This is bad, guys. That number is not a good number. Understand, when D2 launched, Trials of the 9 hit close to 500,000 people the very first weekend. I think it actually broke it. And even inside of D1, toward the end of D1, when everyone had eyes on D2, did we ever see numbers as low as you're seeing right here? And understand, back then, we didn't even have PC. We just had Xbox and PlayStation. So this is off of 3 platforms, and the Trials player base is this low. Needless to say, I understand why people would think that everything this past season has been pretty much delivered half-baked. And it has. Whether it's Trials, whether it's exotics, whether it's quests, from lackluster rewards to lackluster events, this season is a season that I would say you can absolutely skip. So guys, that is my thoughts on it. Again, we'll update you as soon as we know something. Matter of fact, after this quest step, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, once we get into that mission area, there shouldn't be much of of anything. We'll probably be reviewing the shotgun hopefully today. If not today, then we know it's definitely a major buck. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.